Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition, an Alpha Norseman rendition, if you will. Before we get into it, 22 veterans a day at one point in this country took their own lives. Now, stats show that number's going down. However, anything over zero is unacceptable. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. We're back to blue over here. We support Leo. How do you do that, Scab, even though people wear you out about it? Well, we don't break the damn law, and if we do, and we have, we take responsibility for it. Finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So, this is the Alpha Knives Norseman. I put Viking knife in the title because when we think of Sax knives a lot of time, or Sax style knives, we think of Vikings because as Americans, we love Vikings, don't we? I do. And I'll tell you like this, my last name is a Norman name. I do want to say this, though. The Sax style predates the Vikings. Now, we just decided to take a period of time and throw the word Viking on some Norsemen. The truth is, the Vikings were incredible maritime sailors, tradesmen, merchants, all of that. But they're known for their warrior capability, aren't they? And so we want to throw that title out there, Viking knife, Norseman. The truth is, a lot of different groups use this knife. The Germans, the Rus, the Saxons, hence the word Sax. Now, in Old English, Sax simply means knife. Here's the thing, guys. This knife, this style knife, has been found all the way back to 5th century Frankish graves. Recent archaeological studies have found a few of this design. Why do I mention all that? Because simply, it goes to my point that every blade shape out there has been made already. You can try to expound on it, make it better, make it thicker, longer. But I just wanted to point out, this is an old and ancient shape. What's it used for? Primarily, it was used for hunting, self-defense, everyday stuff. A larger version of this was a short sword. And again, this is not a historical reproduction. It's not a replica. This is Damon Lusky's take on the Sax design. And I got to tell you something, son. Alpha Knives, ALFA, have impressed me thoroughly from the get-go. Now, I want y'all to notice something. I stabbed hard there, a couple hard stabs, but up front, I didn't. I wasn't taking it easy. I wanted to show you very little effort, the ability to penetrate. Now, if I told you I was supremely confident in the tip when I started, I'd be lying, okay? I'm supremely confident in it now. Not only do we stab a tire, here in a minute we're going to do the John Peters stab test where we stab the sidewall of a tire. Hard downward punches. Very impressed. Our job here at Choir Boys Cutlery is to see if the knife works. I want you to think of this knife in these terms. This is the knife you have. You don't need to compare it because you say, oh, this cuts better, this style, this, that. If this is the knife you have, will it work? Let me say up front. This is where, and I say this a bunch, I'm a novice at best, and people roll their out. But here's the deal, guys. This is a blade style I don't know that I've used a whole lot. You'll be able to tell that throughout this video. And what I do is I try to show you a progression where and hopefully I'll get a little more comfortable, a little more comfortable, a little more comfortable. Towards the end, I really, really enjoy this knife. Sometimes, man, it's just figuring out the cutting angle and etc. Now, I did this zip tie test, and I've got to where I'll put some on tight, and I loosen some up. We threw this knife several times. The Donnie B All-day, throw it at the stump test, stab test, all that. The tip will hurt you, son. Point blank, period. This is 5160 blade steel. The blade length is 6.5 inches. It is a hollow grind. The blade thickness is 7/32, okay? It is a very slicey knife. Let me just say that up front. The overall length is 11.5 inches. It is a wood handle. Very, very, very comfortable in hand. I love the decorative stuff on the spine. Does it get in the way of a ferro rod? Well, we're going to show you towards the end of this video. Again, it's a hollow grind and just a great design. This is an age-old design. Goes back really probably into time immemorial, into ancient times. So if it's lasted that long, then it has to be something to it. Here we're doing the John Peters stab test. This thing is an absolute stabber. Let me explain to you up front why I was a little worried about that tip. It comes to that thin tip. That's what it's supposed to be. It is a piercer. This thing will pierce. We got up to 5 pieces of sidewall of a tire. That's as much as I've ever done. This thing is an absolute beast. And again, guys, it's not that it's not sharp. This is super sharp. You can tell that on the paper cuts. It's me trying to find the right angle for this blade shape. That, again, is where the novice part comes in. But you're not going to learn, you're not going to get better without doing it. So that's part of this journey. Again, we're learning here. And you can tell by this video that we learned. But in doing so, we were able to get some really, really good demonstrations in on this knife. Knife is very sharp. Damon does a fantastic job. The more I've kind of researched Alpha Knives and heard about Alpha Knives, he has a very, very good reputation. He's hands-on. And I'm telling you, from these 2 pieces that I've got my hands on, they're quality. Fit and finish is awesome, okay? Point blank period. And we don't do a lot about the fit and finish and all that. This blade is acid etched as well. But when they're done as well as these are done, you have to mention it, okay? Fit and finish, great. Sharpness, great. Sturdiness, great. That throw it at the stump test isn't just designed for the balance of the knife. It's to see if the handles are on good. It's to see if the tip will hold up. And really, that's a red oak stump from West Virginia. I think this knife performed insanely well. JR's got a couple more from Alpha Knives that he's going to send me, and I'm excited. And I want to thank JR again, not just for sending knives, but for sending different knives. This is what we wanted in year 3. There's going to be times I struggle with knives. Keep sending them, brother, because I appreciate you. 1, 2, that's the only way we can learn. You'll see here a lot that I use the push cut technique quite a bit. It works insanely well, excuse me, with this knife. And it made some nice curls, and you'll see us make some more little curls here in a minute. Get me something to drink, so I'm about parched over here. Now, here we're just cutting a little paracord, and then we're going to do a test I love to do. I love jamming the knife in the stump, and we're going to use a piece of oak and just make some shavings up real quick. The knife handled very well. And again, this is a knife I think the more I use, the more I could get used to it. I'm going to answer this because of the style of the knife. Is it good for self-defense? Well, personally, I don't think any knife is. You've got to be able to deploy it, draw it, know how to use it, know the rim, all of that stuff. However, this is as good a knife for it as I've ever seen. Why? The tip is strong. It's pointy. You've seen up front with that tire, and if you didn't, go back and check it out. It wasn't hard stabs up front. It was just nice and easy, and it went straight through. I was insanely impressed. Now, again, why do we baton? We baton to check the edge out. We baton to see how the knife functions, any hot spots in the handle, any looseness in the handle, then see how the knife performs. Typically, I'm going to have the tools I need. Now, right here, I'm purposely batoning into a knot, and you can see that. I batoned it down into the stump. No edge damage whatsoever. And again, guys, I'm saving up to get some better equipment to give you better looks at the blade, because this thing is gorgeous, and I want you to be able to show you those edges. I'll show you the knot we were hammering down into in just a second. No edge damage at all, which I was amazed. Sometimes you'll get a little microchip, you'll get things like that, or a slight roll or a slight dip or stuff. There's that knot. Nothing. That tells me the heat treat's spot on. That tells me the maker knows what he's doing, and this isn't a one-off, because that Alpha AK2 held up very, very well as well. Now, we're going to baton, we're going to cut a lot of mediums, because that's what we do, son. We just cut the shit out of all kind of stuff. And if you think about it, and I mention this a lot, but if you really think about all the stuff that we cut, we take all the crap out, okay? Now a little slow-mo, a little editing genius there by old Scabber, doing a little slow cutting. It takes some skill to do that, son. I wanted to show you how well this thing slices, and it absolutely does. Now, here's a piece of 4-inch toe strap that I grabbed while I was down in Plant City the other day. So we're adding this medium to it. The knife goes through it pretty good. And again, sometimes with me, it's just finding that angle. There's no denying the knife is sharp, okay? There's also no denying it takes a minute to learn the knife. But that, again, it's why we're doing it. I'm enjoying doing it. I'm enjoying all the different knives. Now, this is high pressure hose. You're going to see the difference because I'm going to do a couple cuts like this with this high pressure airline, 1-inch high pressure airline. We're going to kick straight to a regular water hose. All right, quick slash there. It did make a cut, not a huge one. But I want y'all to watch when we go to the green hose. Pay attention to the red hose. Now we're going to regular water hose. Now, you'll get a better idea. And again, excuse me, right there, chopped it in twain, threw some water at the camera. And then right here, it just blows through it, son. Right here, it gets impressive when you know that it went through that 1-inch rubber hose, that high pressure hose. Yeah, it struggled a little bit, but it got through there. And then it just abso-damn-lutely blows through here. Here's a new segment. It's called Scab, trimming up the hedges. I want to just show you some quick slashes, guys. And yes, it's kind of me dicking around. But at the same time, I wanted to show you this thing is sharp. And just some quick hitters. This isn't a long segment. Had to even up the shrubs there. So what better way to do it than with the Alpha Norseman kick-ass knife. And again, very light in hand. Feels comfortable in hand. Just really, really, really. Now watch this, guys. Slashed it there. And again, I missed. I got it there. Right there. Now notice, I'm not going crazy with the slashes. Missed again. But I'm lulling the bottle into a false sense of security. Y'all know that. But I want y'all to pay attention. It's not about going easy. It's about using the right amount of force. And I wanted to see how light this thing would cut you or Sasquatch in two, son. It'd slash in a heartbeat. As well as grub turnips. Cut them up. Cut some cardboard. Do all that stuff. I'm drawing a blank on what I was going to say next. Old Scabber about lost it. Hey, skin a deer. That's what I was trying to do. Come on, Scab. Now listen, real quick. Donnie B All-day is marching to 10,000. He's over 9. I love Donnie. He's a brother. Go subscribe. Joe, Steel Forge and Fire, Sword and Knife. Go subscribe. Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. We are working on something massive. That's all I'm going to say about it. Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. Please go subscribe. Guys, listen. I love y'all. God knows I do. I really do. I appreciate y'all putting up with me. Now watch right here, guys. I walked straight inside and did this. The guy can build a knife, fellas. Alpha Knives are worth checking out. Old Town Cutlery is where you can find it. Another great group of folks. Go check them out. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son. Badass blade. Looking good, Scab. Attaboy. Sometime today. There we go.